Christopher Columbus, The Search for a New World by Sea, a real historical event. Christopher Columbus was born around 1451 in the city of Genoa, Italy. His father was a wool cloth merchant. From childhood, Columbus had a strong interest in the sea, ships, and traveling to distant lands. In his youth, he began working as a sailor on various merchant ships. At that time, European traders were searching for new sea routes to India, China, and the spices, silk, and valuable goods of East Asia. After the Ottoman Empire established control over the main land routes from Europe to Asia, many obstacles arose. As a result, the importance of sea routes increased greatly. Columbus believed that the earth was round, and that by sailing west across the sea, it would be possible to reach Asia. However, his calculations about the size of the earth were wrong. He estimated the actual distance to be much shorter than it really was. At first, he presented his plan to the royal court of Portugal, but the king did not accept it. After that, he spent many years appealing for support at the royal court of Spain. Finally, in 1492, King Ferdinand II and Queen Isabella decided to finance his expedition. On August 3, 1492, the voyage began from the port of Palos de la Frontera in Spain with 3 ships. The names of the 3 ships were Santa María, Niña, and Pinta. About 90 sailors took part in the expedition. The sea voyage was extremely difficult. Week after week, no land was in sight. The sailors faced shortages of food and water. Many began to think that they would never be able to return home. The possibility of mutiny on the ships also arose, but Columbus continued to encourage his sailors and kept the journey going. Finally, on October 12, 1492, a sailor spotted land in the distance. They reached an island in what is now the Bahamas, which the local people knew as Guanahani. Columbus named the island San Salvador. Columbus believed that he had reached an island near India. Based on that mistaken belief, he began calling the local inhabitants Indians. In reality, he never reached Asia. He had arrived in the Caribbean region of the American continent. After that, he went to Cuba and Hispaniola. There, his flagship Santa Maria was wrecked in an accident. Using the ship's timber, he built a small fort called La Navidad and left some sailors there before returning to Spain. When Columbus returned to Spain, he was honored as a hero. News of his expedition quickly spread throughout Europe. After that, he crossed the Atlantic Ocean 3 more times, in 1493, 1498, and 1502. In these 4 voyages, he visited many islands in the Caribbean, the coast of Central America, and some areas of northern South America. However, serious accusations arose regarding his administration. Due to conflicts with the Spaniards living in the colony, harsh governance, and allegations of abuse toward the local people, the Spanish royal court ordered an investigation. In 1500, he was arrested and brought back to Spain in chains. Although he was later released, his former authority was never restored. Columbus remained convinced until the end of his life that he had reached a region near Asia. He did not realize that it was an entirely new continent. Later, the Italian explorer Amerigo Vespucci proved through his travels that it was not Asia, but a new continent. The name America came into use from his name. On May 20, 1506, Christopher Columbus died in the city of Valladolid, Spain. The impact of Columbus's expeditions. Columbus's sea voyage is considered a turning point in world history. His expedition established lasting contact between Europe and America. In the following centuries, European powers established colonies in America. New trade routes opened, and major changes came to the world economy. At the same time, this expedition also had negative consequences. With the arrival of Europeans, many indigenous communities suffered greatly from war, slavery, and infectious diseases brought from Europe. The lives and cultures of millions of people were destroyed. Therefore, in modern history, Columbus is recognized on one hand as a skilled sailor and explorer, but on the other hand, there is extensive discussion and criticism regarding colonialism and the suffering of indigenous peoples that began as a result of his expedition. Conclusion. Christopher Columbus's voyage of 1492 was one of the most important turning points in human history. Although his main goal was to reach Asia by sailing west, in reality, his expedition introduced the American continent to Europe and changed the course of world history. Just as his success marked the beginning of a new era of maritime exploration, its consequences, colonialism, cultural change, and the profound impact on indigenous peoples, have also remained permanently recorded in history.